Community is a show that thrived on the strength of its main cast and brilliant writing. Honestly, it's easy to fall in love with the familiar faces and forget just how much the background characters of Greendale bring to the table. Whether it's Leonard's YouTube reviews, Magnitude's pop, or Todd just being the worst, nearly everyone who passes through Greendale makes the show better. But some characters get even less screen time than those aforementioned guests. These people serve as one-off guest stars, who just visit Greendale for an episode before disappearing from Community forever. Despite being only on the show for a brief time, they made a huge impact, whether they be hilarious, heartwarming, or perfectly annoying. With that in mind, I'm Will for What Culture, and here are the 10 best Community characters who only appeared in one episode. 10. Devon and his wife. In Season 5's VCR Maintenance and Educational Publishing, Annie, Abed, Rachel, and Anthony play out an outdated Wild West-themed VCR game called Pile of Bullets. Throughout the game, they watch a prospector played by Breaking Bad creator Vince Gilligan giving them instructions. The final scene of the episode actually develops the actor portraying this prospector, named Devon, and his wife, played by Gina Gershon. In the scene, Devon books the job for Pile of Bullets and tells his wife. It's heartbreakingly hilarious watching them decide to move to Los Angeles, abandoning their jobs at Apple Computers to make VCR games. Plus, it's those little flashback moments that really give the one-off stars a lot of depth and hilarity in Community. 9. The Schmitty Kids. Some characters on this list are so lovable, deep, and multi-layered that they could have appeared on Community time and time again without wearing out their welcome. The Schmitty Kids are on this list for an entirely different reason. Appearing in the Season 1 episode, The Art of Discourse, these three high schoolers follow Jeff and Britta around Greendale, mocking them by adding "duh" to whatever they say and calling them Schmitty, which apparently means loser. After a failed attempt to humiliate Mark by sleeping with his mum, Jeff and Britta engage in an outright war with the high schoolers, continually adding "duh" to each other's sentences. Their final battle ends when Shirley and Pierce pants the Schmitty Kids, stunning them for just long enough for Jeff and Britta to claim victory. The genius behind the Schmitty Kids is just how dislikable the writers and actors are able to make these harmless high schoolers. In just one episode, they establish themselves as the sitcom equivalent of Joffrey from Game of Thrones. 8. Jeremy Simmons. Simmons appears in the episode's Debate 109, which sees Jeff and Annie team up against him for a Greendale versus City College debate. Simmons' reputation is legendary, and he successfully out-argues Jeff, a professional lawyer, during the first day of the competition, convincing the judges that man is good. At the climactic final debate, it seems that Jeff and Annie finally have Simmons outmatched, until the devious City College student flings himself out of his wheelchair in a last-ditch attempt for Jeff to catch him, proving that man is good since Jeff will save a person he hates. However, Annie wins the day by kissing Jeff and forcing him to drop Simmons hard onto the floor, showing that man is evil after all. 7. Professor CLIGORIS. Honestly, it's hard to go wrong when you've got Martin Starr. In the Season 3 episode, Geography of Global Conflicts, he appears as Professor CLIGORIS, a Greendale teacher whose obsession with the Model UN drives his entire life up to the point where they used to call him Model UN Guy back in college. As Annie Edison and Annie Kim both start their UNs, CLIGORIS' dreams come true, with the professor devising the rules and officiating a Model UN Battle Royale. Throughout the competition, it's easy to tell he has the time of his life, and when Annie E's Model UN comes in with their Earth 2 strategy, he appears overjoyed with their creativity and this out-of-the-box usage of the Model UN, and happily gives them the win. Plus his name is funny. 6. Professor Sheffield. Professor Peter Sheffield is a smug Greendale teacher whose claim to fame is his book Who Indeed, a critical analysis of television's Who's the Boss. The book sets out to prove that the titular question of the show, Who's the Boss, is rhetorical. However, in the episode Competitive Wine Tasting, Sheffield meets his match, Abed. Abed enrolls in the class and offers up the opinion that Angela Bauer is the boss. Sheffield laughs at this, at first, until Abed conclusively proves his point and basically shatters the poor guy's life. The character also highlights the wackiness of Greendale, as only Greendale would offer a class about one specific TV show, and Tobolowsky's serious performance as Sheffield highlights the sheer goofiness of the situation. 5. Agent Robin VOHLERS. When the Vice President of the United States prepares to visit Greendale, he sends federal agent Robin VOHLERS, played by Eliza Coupe, to scout out the school for any threats. There, she hits it off with Abed, as the pair connect since both are used to being the only observers of situations. Robin falls for Abed so hard that she searches his dorm room on a random spot check in the hopes of spending more time with him. Abed returns the favor by revealing an easy way to make napalm on Greendale College TV, so Robin will have to return to observe him more. The episode ends with Robin and Abed on a date, with Robin observing Abed from outside his dorm while the pair watch Kick Puncher together. It's a tender yet hilarious moment. Unfortunately though, this is the last we see of Robin, but she made her mark on the show and on Abed. 4. Mr. Rad. Played by Taron Killam, this Will Schuester parody is equal parts charismatic and creepy. He sings the first of many songs in the episode with Abed, which persuades Abed and the audience that maybe joining Glee Club isn't that bad of an idea. After that, the study group dominoes fall one by one, and before long, they've all joined the Glee Club. However, Britta ruins the Christmas pageant, and Mr. Rad freaks out at her, revealing that he actually killed a past Glee Club. After this revelation, he runs away, and is never seen again. Though his time on the show is brief, Mr. Rad gives Community one of the best episodes ever, and ends the first half of Season 3 with a bang. 3. Louis Guzman. Throughout Community's run, characters often refer to one of Greendale's most famous alumni, Louis Guzman. Guzman is a real-life actor, known for his work in such films as The Hard Way and Boogie Nights. Greendale is so proud of Guzman that they display a statue of the actor in his honor. In the Season 3 episode documentary filmmaking Redux, Guzman appears in Community as himself. When the Dean decides to make an updated commercial for Greendale, Jeff insists they shoot it in front of the Guzman statue, then tips off Guzman's lawyers so the footage is unusable. However, this backfires, as Guzman becomes interested in appearing in the commercial himself. It's a nice bit of meta to sprinkle into Greendale, and makes the show and the world feel that bit more connected to our own. 2. Mr. Stone. The death of Pierce was a heartbreaking moment in the show, but it led to one of the best episodes of Season 5, Cooperative Polygraphy. In Pierce's will, it clearly states that, in the event of his death, the study group must undergo a polygraph test in order to determine if any of them murdered Pierce. Enter Mr. Stone, Pierce's executor, who administers the polygraph test to the group. Excellently played by Walton Goggins in Season 5, Mr. Stone delivers Pierce's question in a piercing yet monotone voice, effectively giving the deceased old man one last hurrah of an episode. However, Mr. Stone's best moment comes at the end, when he joins the study group at the bar for drinks. Here, he's actually allowed to be himself, as opposed to just Pierce's surrogate, and he's equally hilarious. His screenplay about a polygraph test administrator whose greatest flaw is he's too handsome sounds like a great idea, and his excitement towards the group is surprisingly sweet. 1. Professor Roger DeSalvo. Towards the end of Season 6, the cast decide to enroll in an interesting-sounding grifting class at Greendale, which Jeff warns them is clearly a grift. Despite Jeff begging them not to enroll, they do anyway, where they meet Professor Roger DeSalvo. Played by Matt Berry, DeSalvo's class is clearly a grift, though it takes Abed, Annie, Britta, Chang, and Elroy a while to see it. DeSalvo takes Hickey's spot as Jeff's office mate, and the two immediately clash, since DeSalvo views grifting as an art form, while Jeff views it as a means to an end. Then Jeff teams up with his friends to take DeSalvo down in a grift, only to learn that none of them know anything about grifting. I've said grifting way too many times, oh god. This doesn't stop them from throwing together the ultimate grift, including a fake alliance/romance with Britta and a conga line of briefcases, and beating DeSalvo at his own game. It's immensely satisfying when the episode ends and we hear him saying those 3 magical words: I was grifted. Berry brings his signature charm and hilarity to the role, such as his random singing. His love of grifting almost sways the audience into thinking it is a real art form. All in all, Roger DeSalvo, if that is his real name, is one of the best one-off characters in all of Community. And there you have it, folks, the 10 best Community characters who only appeared in one episode. Feel free to drop this video a like if you enjoyed it, and drop me a follow on Twitter at @USlyDowellU. I'm Will for What Culture, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.